Hello YouTube, I hope you all had a good week. Thanks for coming by. In today's video, I'll be answering questions that are coming from subscribers. Hopefully these questions will not only solve their issues but also help others with similar questions or in similar situations. And if you have a question you'd like me to treat, kindly just write it in the comments below or send an email to 40feetandfun@gmail.com and I will definitely treat it and we'll make another question and answer video like this where your question will be answered. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first question is from Amara and she asks, I was wondering if you would give us a hint on what your food menu is like. Alright, thanks a lot for that question, Amara. So for me, my food menu is pretty simple. There's no special diet I'm on or special meal plan that I'm on. What I just do is I eat whole foods as much as possible. So I've removed from my diet, for the most part, processed meals. So stuff like Indomie, sausages, bacon, processed foods as much as possible. Even processed drinks and soda I've removed. So orange juice, processed orange juices, soda I've removed from my diet for the most part. So whole foods is what I go for. And then portion control. So I ensure that as a bodybuilder, I have a lot of protein and medium carbs and a lot of vegetables and fruits as well. So I have what I eat regularly and then what I eat occasionally. So what I eat regularly is what I cook and what I store and what you find in my house. And this is, like I said, whole foods for the most part. So you find for a typical day, I will start off the day with fruits and end the day with vegetables. Most likely salad. So, and in the middle I'll have some vegetables as well. So I start off the day with, for instance, banana and oranges. Then after a while I might have pancakes. This will be oatmeal pancakes. Then I'll proceed to lunch after a while, and that will be anything. It could be some swallow meal with some good soup or rice and beans or plantain or yam. It could be anything, but it will be whole foods and the portion control will be considered. Then at night I'll also have something else. It could be anything, like I said, but whole foods and portion control. Then I have salad after that, and then I go to bed. I drink a lot of water also. No soda, no processed drinks. So that's how it is. So for snacks, I'll do things like dark chocolate, then nuts, then maybe dates. So that's what you find in my house. So as a rule, I try to have only whole foods at home so that I'm not tempted to snack into things that will be called empty calories. But on occasion, when I am out to treat myself or I'm out celebrating, I will have a cake here and there, I'll have a burger here and there, I'll have a drink here and there. But all of these things, like I said, with portion control and with the knowledge of what I'm actually putting in my system. And usually when I get home after all of that, I'll still have my salad just to ensure that I neutralize whatever I might have gotten in my system. So that's what I do concerning my food menu. So it's pretty simple, it's just basic control of what you're putting into your system, knowing that you are getting whole foods as much as possible. So the next question is from Bao, and he says, great video, thanks for the insightful feedback. Thanks a lot, Bao, for the kind words. He says, diet, I agree, is the number one pillar of fitness. However, eating healthy consistently can be pretty expensive. Please address this concern with respect to our Nigerian needs. Very interesting question. So eating healthy being expensive with respect to Nigerian food especially. To answer your question, eating healthy in Nigeria is actually very easy and not expensive to do. And that's because the traditional or local Nigerian meals are actually pretty healthy for the most part. The main issue that you would have with a typical Nigerian diet is overloading of carbs. You will see that the average Nigerian will have a lot of starch and minimal protein. For instance, I remember in school there was a friend who was rumored to have eaten 16 wraps of pounded yam, right? That was all he had for lunch one particular day, and it was on record that day that this guy ate 16 wraps of pounded yam. So that's a typical Nigerian meal. So pounded yam is healthy, but somebody eating 16 wraps now is going overboard with respect to the carbs. So for instance, if you look at our meals, our soups are rich, vegetables rich in all kinds of nutrients. We have a lot of meat options. We have the general notion of using fresh foods and whole foods to cook meals. So if one should only just adjust his mind to know that while making Nigerian meals, rather than following the stereotype of eating a lot of carbohydrates, you minimize your carbohydrate intake while maximizing your protein and your vegetables. In that scenario, you're having a healthy meal. Then you want to substitute your meats with the healthier options. For instance, we have local cows that are organic. So that's beef is already sorted. For chicken and fish, you want to consider catching wild fish if possible, or getting wild caught fish. A little bit more expensive than the frozen fish, but it's obtainable and not so expensive. Same with chicken, for instance, or poultry. You could actually opt for getting, the locally trained chicken, or better yet, old layers. Outside of that, everything is cheaper because your vegetables, your grain, all these things, you're getting them in the local market for the most part, and these things are obtainable. You can even have them in your gardens. So these things are obtainable everywhere at very affordable prices. Another thing to consider is fruits. We have a lot of options to choose from in Nigeria, from oranges to mangoes to guava to watermelons to pineapple. There are all kinds of fruits available here, which are most of the time richer gram for gram than what you will get from the fruits that you buy that were imported into the country. So it's a lot cheaper actually now to get your vitamins and nutrients from fruits, almost literally free of charge in Nigeria. So these things are the things that you will adjust. You will adjust your meals to more local foods, adjust your fruits to more local foods, reduce your processed food intake, exercise portion control, and you're eating healthy in Nigeria. Thank you again for that question. The third question is from Ollie. She goes on to say, really good techniques. Thanks a lot, Ollie. Can you do the cardio part before and not after your actual workout? Very good question. Now, to answer this, it will be determined by what program you're on and what conditioning or how advanced you are in your particular program. But for the most part, if you are a weightlifter or you are into bodybuilding, so you do resistance training with weights, you would want to do your cardio after your workouts so that you have maximal energy to actually train to failure and give yourself your best shot with progressive overload in your workouts. Afterwards, you can now do your cardio to cool down. But for someone who is into some other kind of fitness, maybe you're into some calisthenics or you're into some bodyweight exercises, you could also go ahead and do your cardio before your exercise. That will help you to warm up and have your body ready and your joints loose for the program that you're actually doing. So it depends on what program you're doing. Like I said, it also depends on your conditioning and how advanced you are, because you could be an athlete, a pro athlete who just wants to actually push himself to the limit because of some particular goals that you have. To have some more endurance, you could do the cardio first because you are trying to train yourself at a higher level. But like I said, for the most part, you want to do your cardio as a weightlifter after your main program. So the last question for the day comes from Joy. Hello, Joy. And she asks, I would like you to please do a video on how women can use everyday items found around the home, such as gallons, cans, jerry cans, using child's weight, partner's weight, or own body weight as resistance, to work on areas of the body such as the midsection, and did I mention the midsection? So Joy is mentioning the midsection 3 times for safety. Well, the abdominal regions, the glutes, arms, and legs. Please take your time, no pressure, but just know that people like us are following, watching, and waiting. Thank you very much, Joy, for taking out time to write this and for watching and waiting and following. So, very interesting question, and this is one of the most common questions you always get. The midsection. Everybody wants to know, how do I reduce my midsection? How do I burn belly fat? So to answer your question, for the first part, I will be doing videos in the coming weeks that will explain exercises that you could do in the home to address different parts of your body. But I want to first of all recommend that you don't deploy props like jerry cans, cans as much as possible, because these things were not made in the shape or form for exercise. So there might be injury, depends on one's strength and depends on how many of these things you're using. There might be injury, as something might drop on you, or you might hurt someone while doing your exercise. Also, the kind of environment that you might have in your home, you might not be conducive for using some things of that sort. So for the most part, working out at home, except you are trying to build muscle mass and grow in size, you can actually achieve everything with your body weight. So I would advise you do a lot of body weight exercises, do more of repetition, do more of HIIT to achieve your goals than deploying props. Now, secondly, to address the midsection, there was a lot of emphasis on the midsection, which is why I want to emphasize something here. It's important to take note that fat burning cannot be done spot by spot. In other words, I can't say I want to target my midsection and burn the fat. As a matter of fact, exercises that you're going to do for your midsection, your belly, abdominal exercises, core strengthening exercises, what they do is actually build the muscle in that part. So you have your abdominal muscles, and if you do your exercises, those muscles are developed. These muscles don't really have anything to do with the fat in that region. So the reason why you might have a big midsection is most of the time, outside of other health issues, but for the most part, it is fat or excess water retained in that region. So to address it, it's not really about exercise, it's more about diet. So somebody once said, abs are made in the kitchen. So you could actually lose weight without exercising. One needs to understand what exercise is and what exercise isn't. I'll use an example to explain it better. Let's imagine that you had grass at your backyard and you had raked the grass, you had cut the grass and you had raked it and you had packed it in a place and you wanted to burn it. The question is, what do you need to burn the grass? What you need is fire, right? You need fire to burn the grass. Now, you light a match and the grass is burning. Then you have fuel, some kind of fuel. That fuel can be a catalyst to increase the fire. But the fuel is not what you need to burn the grass. It's the fire that is needed to burn the grass. So the fuel only just enhances the fire. That's exactly what exercise is. So exercise helps you burn calories. Exercise helps you train that muscle group. But at the end of the day, what makes you lose weight or lose fat is actually the caloric deficit, which will come from your dieting or your fasting. So what you can do is intermittent fasting and also ensuring that you're in a caloric deficit. This will help you in burning fat, and that fat will be burned holistically. It's not going to be burned from your belly only, or from your arm only, or from your legs only. It will go according to your particular body makeup. Different people have different ways that they lose fat. Some people lose fat first from their legs, some people from their face, some people from their belly. Everybody has their own body makeup, which will determine how fat is distributed and how fat is also burnt. So have it in mind that it is not exercise that is responsible for the reduction in your belly, but it is going to be your diet. I have a friend lost 15 kg and she didn't exercise at all. She told me that she didn't do any exercise at all. All she just did was cut down on her carbs, took a lot of vegetables instead, and she lost 15 kg in a year. So you can actually lose weight without exercise. But if you exercise and you're not taking the diet part seriously, you would not actually see any results. So have it in mind that your diet is the main thing to address when it comes to that midsection. It's not really the exercise, it's the diet. So subsequently, after your diet must have been in check and your belly size has come down, the exercise can help in the sense of strengthening how the belly would look, as in having a firmer belly with the abs showing, if you need the abs to show and all of that. That's where the muscle development comes in from the exercise. But the exercise is not going to burn fat. Remember what I said, the exercise is developing muscle, not burning fat. The exercise will also help you to burn calories, which will help as a catalyst in burning fat. But caloric deficit is the byproduct of the exercise. It is not the direct impact of the exercise. So have that in mind. So thank you all very much once more for the questions that you have written. And like I said, if you have a question like this, you can send an email to me at 40feetandfun@gmail.com, or you can just type it in the comments here, and I will attend to that and follow through as necessary. Also share with anyone that you feel might benefit from this information. So stay strong, stay healthy, and until next time, have a lovely one.